enjoy the fast lane. Must be my heart music, so come get the gas man. So get past that. 1T rappers, where your ass at? You can last me, enjoy the fast lane. Must be my heart music's everlasting. I go Coco, so loco. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, don't know. I'm so raw, go so slow in a low, twisting like Toto. Oh no, throwing game like Tony Romo. Even the G's love me, no homo. With the crew, that's a no-no.
Oh, damn it.
I grow when I flow, it's tidal. Surf the beat, watch my roll. Grab the mic, kick hard like Tybo. Yes, one team at first, where your ass at? You and Leslie, enjoy the last week.
Landmark decision in Roe versus Wade in 1973. 3 Chinese nurses have been awarded the Florence Nightingale Medal for their outstanding contribution to healthcare. Cheng Shoujian, Hu Minhua, and Tua Yali of Gansu Province received the award at a ceremony in Beijing. The Florence Nightingale Medal, the highest international honor for nurses, was awarded to 25 nurses from 18 countries this year. The recipients were praised for demonstrating the core socialist values and the Red Cross spirit of humanity, compassion, dedication. China's lodged solemn representations over a report recently adopted by the European Parliament's Committee on Foreign Affairs. China's top political advisory body says the report seriously violates the One China principle and blatantly interferes in China's internal affairs, and is also severely in conflict with international law and the basic norms of international relations. It says China opposes any interference in its internal affairs and any obstruction of the peaceful reunification of China. It also says the EU should invest more efforts in boosting mutual trust and cooperation and ensure that the China-EU relationship steadily moves forward on the right track. This is Shane Bigham, live from the Chinese capital. Coming up in business, loan support for small business in China.
You're listening to the Beijing Hour. 60 minutes of comprehensive news.
That bass response.
Your window on China and the world.
U.S. markets finished higher on Thursday. Europe also closed higher. Market observer John Terrett has more.
Dow ending up 0.4%, 131 points, back above 35,000. Well, it's been that way for a long time, but it did end a 3-day losing streak today. And then 2 closing records. NASDAQ up just over 0.1%, 21 points, 15,331 I have on the clock, closing record. And the S&P 500 up between 1/4 and 1/3 of 1%, 12 points, 45.36 I've got it as here. Energy and healthcare up more than 1% each. Now on to the European numbers for Thursday. And the London number was up 1/5 of 1%, the German one 1/10 of 1%, and the French one just 4 points.
The monthly employment report by the Department of Labor's Bureau of Labor Statistics in the U.S. is slated for today, which will include employment data from both the private sector and the government. The Chinese markets closed mixed yesterday. Analyst Timothy Pope has more.
The Chinese onshore markets continued yesterday's trajectory in both directions, really. For Shanghai, we had a lower opening followed by an afternoon of steady gains. The composite index closed about 0.8% higher. But the small cap China export continued its decline, falling 1.5% as investors abandoned vaccine stocks. Financials and real estate continued their fairly robust performance.
Why would they do
developer
that?
season holdings among the biggest gainers, rising 4% here in Shanghai. Gemdale Corp was about 3%, 3.2% actually. We also saw a lot of power in energy and mining stocks. Coal miners and power stocks went up after a statement from the National Energy Administration saying that it's looking at an action plan for carbon neutrality and making new energy the backbone of China's power grid. That combined with a couple of reports of plans by Beijing and Tianjin to speed up their cities' low carbon transitions really helped to push energy stocks ahead. Investors seem to be betting on electricity price rises, and China obviously is still a heavily reliant on coal power. We saw big jumps for Yenzhou coal mining. It rose 6.4% today, taking its year-to-date gains to 166%. Solar panels maker LONGi Green Energy was out there representing green energy companies today. It bounced after yesterday's fall, rising 3.6%, making up some of the losses that it was hit with yesterday.
That was market analyst Timothy Pope in Shanghai. In Hong Kong, the Hang Seng Index closed up by 0.2%. In Singapore, the Straits Times Index ended flat. In Japan, the Nikkei closed up by 0.3%. Well, China says it'll provide another 300 billion yuan, or around $46 billion in loans to support struggling small businesses and self-employed individuals. The State Council's executive meeting announced plans to step up relief and assistance to market entities, especially micro, small, and medium enterprises. Premier Li Keqiang says that supporting the small and medium business sector is critical for maintaining steady growth and keeping jobs. China's small businesses have been bearing the brunt of rising commodity costs, the impacts of COVID-19, and natural disasters. And all of this has slowed down their recovery. 300 billion yuan in new loans earmarked for small business will be in the form of re-lending quota. That's a kind of loan that the central bank gives to financial institutions. Policies related to loan interest discounts and incentives will be fine-tuned, and banks will be encouraged to grant more inclusive credit-based loans to enterprises hard hit by COVID-19. On this, we're joined by Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies, Renmin University. Good morning, and what's your take on the statements from the State Council's executive meeting?
As we know that this decision is not the first decision ever since, because the central government has already made a similar decision and support the macro and the small business in China. But it tells us 2 points. One point is that the challenges for the small business is very serious. It's becoming more critical than ever. This is a very important signal that to the market. And the second is also tell the market that even we have so heavy and serious critical challenges, the central government is still confident to make support of this business, especially for those macro and small business entities in China, in order to support their further development and also make a new contribution for the economic recovery. So this is a very important step and a significant signal to the market, and also strengthen the market confidence.
Well, how much relief will the announced support measures give those small businesses that are struggling?
As we know that the $46 billion in loans is not much, but we don't have any policy intention that to have the flooding over the entities. So in this way, that this is only to show the confidence and the support of the central government to relieve those small entities in most difficulties, especially for those targeted companies. For instance, the new energy industries and also new technology, smart technology developers. They are the main focus that to be relieved, because they have more employment, and also they have very good contribution to the general GDP development in China.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. That's Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies, Renmin University. Official data shows that China's service trade reached 2.8 trillion yuan, or around $435 billion in the first 7 months of the year. That represents an increase of 7.3% year on year. Of the total, service exports reached about 1.3 trillion yuan, up about 23%. Service imports stood at around 1.5 trillion, down by 4% from a year earlier. In July alone, the country's service trade reached about 432 billion yuan, up by 10%. The Middle East has a new seaport thanks to China's Belt and Road project. The port was built with the help of Shanghai International Port Group in the northern Israeli city of Haifa. As Zhang Sishuan reports, the port boasts the latest technology and will be operated by the Chinese company.
To the music of an opening ceremony, the first container was lifted at the new port in Israel's transportation and industrial center of Haifa. The container was consigned to a 15,000 20-foot equivalent unit container ship, the first mega vessel to be loaded with cargo by the new port's automation control system. Opened yesterday, the terminal was developed and is now operated by the Shanghai International Port Group.
桥吊和堆场都是自动化的。
The traveling crane and storage yard are both operated by an automated system, just as at Shanghai's fourth phase Yangshan Deepwater Port, which is now the world's biggest automated container terminal. The remote operation system and the automated equipment in the new port are all similar to those in the fourth phase of Yangshan Port. But we've made adjustments to local conditions in Israel in terms of the remote connections to trucks, shipping agencies, and freight forwarders. The port will be the most efficient one in Israel.
世界当地效率最高的港口。
Despite the challenges of the pandemic, it took the company just around 3 years to finish construction of the new port. The first phase, with an 805-meter short-line terminal, will have an annual container throughput of more than 1 million TEU. This is the first new port opened in a Middle Eastern country for the past 60 years. And with almost all of Israel's trade carried by sea, it has given the country a new gateway to the world.
Israel is isolated from nearby countries, so the development of ports is very crucial to its economic growth. With the advanced technology and rich experience provided by SIPG, we hope the new port will not only serve Israel's demands, but also become a regional logistics hub to serve Gulf countries or even the entire Middle East.
The opening of the new port comes at a time when seaports around the world are struggling with shipping congestion. A recent report from Swiss shipping company Kuehne+Nagel says more than 100 ports around the world are backed up, with some 350 ships waiting to dock and unload. The delays have led to longer delivery times and higher prices. The hope is that with the improvements the Shanghai International Port Group will bring to Haifa's operations, the global shipping capacity and mobility will be enhanced.
That was Zhang Shushuan reporting on the new China-built Belt and Road seaport in the Middle East. You're listening to the Beijing Hour. Turning to sports, here's Yang Guang.
Thank you, Shane. In football, China suffered a 3-0 defeat against Australia in their opener of the final round of the FIFA World Cup Asian qualifying tournament. Goals from Ava Marble and Martin Boyle gave Australia a 2-goal lead at the interval before substitute Mitchell Duke added a third with 20 minutes remaining. China failed to produce a shot on target during the match, and manager Li Tie was criticized for not sending naturalized players Alan and Luo Guofu to the ground for more attacking options. China captain Wu Xi admitted that Australia was the best.
They played in better quality and we failed to defend them. I want to thank our fans back home. Whatever time we play, they will support us as always.
In the same group, Oman stunned Japan 1-0 with a late goal in Osaka. Oman head coach Branko Ivankovic says he's proud to lead the team to
So, the timing for everything I want to do is off by a minute here and a minute there. Well, the sports came up 2 minutes early because we're listening to the rerun. It's not 7:46, it's 9:46 or whatever in Beijing right now, AM. So it's 9:46 PM here. And my coffee pot's gurgling. Okay, you know what? There will be hourly news at 10, so let's hold on a second here. What am I trying to do? Turn off Bluetooth, turn off Wi-Fi. There we go. Set that here, press play here.
Welcome to this Cousin C show. Now sit your ass the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Get the gas mask.
brag the mostest, cause I spit it hotter than toasters. Check my name out on all the posters. When I hit the stage, drinks hit the coasters. Women packed all the way to the third row. We ain't in the strip club, but call it per bro. I don't know what you heard, ho. I'ma tell you straight, baby, I'm a surf pro. Running game like a pimp bitch. Yeah, I'm running game with a limp bitch. The big dog gonna teach you some tricks, bitch. Get out there, catch a date and stack my chips, bitch.
One team rappers, when you're rapping, you would last week, enjoy the past week. Must be why our music's everlasting.
In the future, track bruisers. Cut the beat in the back of the cruiser. Fuck the game up, Karma Sutra. In my Red Rover, I will run right through ya. Growl on the mic like a beast should. Go hard on the beat, think Clint Eastwood. Walk on water, everybody knew he would. Written in the scripture, scholars knew he could. On my own, Julius Caesar. Take away my world, I only need her. What you coming? Only wanna be heard. The phoenix shall rise upon my return. Get the gas mask when we spark that.
How much was it?
I think we parked that.
Gas mask, let me pass that. One team rappers,
I think that one was already dead. Okay.
you would last week, enjoy the past week. Must be why our music's everlasting. Get the gas mask, let me pass that. One team rappers, where you rapping? You and last week, enjoy the past week. Must be why our music's everlasting.
I go Coco, so loco. Whoop, whoop, no popo. Yeah, don't know. I'm so pro. Go so slow in a low. Twisting like Toto. Oh no, tone game like Tony Romo.
They need a
Even the
table here. We
G's
can
love
pretend
me,
we're all sitting
no
at a table.
homo.
It's the
With the crew,
can't be round, can't be square, can't be the kitchen table. Let's make it be square.
When I flow, it's tidal. Surf the beat, watch my roll. Grab the mic, kick hard like Tybo.
Gas mask, let me pass that. One team rappers, where you rapping? You
No. Let's go take us too far back. Take us off topic. No lighting. It's not technically true.
Why don't you come around here and I'll make you feel right at home? From the couch to the floor, we'll be in the zone. Let's get it on till the dawn arises. Kissing in the midst of the praying horizon. Honeymoon chemistry is what I'm feeling from you. A perfect love story with a heart draft. I wanna make it right. It's all right.
Concerns with the very practical realities of risks associated with COVID.
Theoretical concerns.
All right, and the practical realities, because of
Theoretically, my
this
government suppressed my
this
health
is
information
not-
for 38
it doesn't
fucking
appear to
years.
be a job that hand sanitizer is going to solve. This
Well, since hand
seems to
sanitizer
be,
preserves
don't
DNA,
share
yeah, it's not going to kill a
air,
virus.
Wear a good mask and
Try
get
again.
vaccinated. Should people up their game in how they battle this? Yeah, it's absolutely, as you say, you know,
From the tip of my tongue, and I can get it on. So baby, give me some, and I can give me some, and we can go from
I'm
there.
being a bit on my
Keep it
ankles.
PG, but you see what I mean. Let's go for a walk on the walks and trail and watch the sunset and the moon and start the bills get rocked by the river and sit on the beach. Quiet times in the city can never be me. So baby, you can do your thing, and I can do my thing. No, we can do our thing. Say, baby, you can do your thing. So do your thing, and I can do my thing. No, we can do our thing. It's showtime, your time to shine. Escalating in a pace, got no time to be blind. I get it, got it good. You're doing what you shouldn't. Let me tell you that you ain't misunderstood. I'm doing my thing, and you're doing yours. Making life happen and dreaming of the laws. You're dreaming in the end. I'm dreaming more tours, and I think it's very sexy when you show me your full force. Dressing, caressing, get the best of me. I can be your best friend if you let me see what you believe. Honestly, the perfect life could be. Then, honey, I'll support you in the front row seat. Then, baby, you can do your thing, and I can do my thing. No, we can do a thing. Say, baby, you can do your thing. So do your thing.
Everything starts on the hour.
No, we can do a thing. Baby, you can do your thing, and I can do my thing. No, we can do a thing. Say, baby, you can do your thing. So do your thing, and I can do my thing. No, we can do a thing.
Damn it.
I swear my ankle feels like it's getting bit. It's not. I can see that it's not. That's V19. That's what it feels like, getting bit over and over, because your blood cells are just exploding en masse for some reason. Doesn't happen one at a time.
God damn, I feel like Peter Pan, floating off the sand. I don't think they understand. I come from the land where they sit on cars. Burned a couple woods, now I'm chilling in the stars. Switch the flow, when I pop up. God damn, I feel like Peter Pan, floating off the sand. I don't think they understand. I come from the land where they sit on cars. Burned a couple woods, now I'm chilling in the stars. Switch the flow up, hop over to Mars. I got bars. This shit is overwhelming. Roll the cookie in the wood, got the whole room smelling. You better keep it pushing, or I might just crack your melon. Hey, I be posted, I be coolin'. Come through, bitches drooling. But they ain't getting none. I be focused on the guap. I'm just trying to stack them huns. I'm just trying to get some huns. I'm just trying to stack them huns. I'm just trying to get some huns. I'm just trying to stack them huns. No stop, overload. Drop a burst down, make a bitch booty roll on the couch, booty roll. When I pounce, I'ma make a bitch scream. When I eat her pussy out, when I eat her pussy out, when I make her booty bounce all the way up my
Everything that screws me up is half joints, and a half joint and partial joint.
That's exactly fuck, another proud smoking loud. I be posted up.
Watch, I'm gonna smoke half of this one, it'll fuck me up again.
But they ain't getting none. I be focused on the guap. I'm just trying to stack them huns.
The plainest military type packaging you can imagine in Canada.
I'm just trying to get some huns. I'm just trying to stack them huns.
Your bitch sipping and dripping when she come around. I fuck her all night and we smoking that loud. I drop her and pass her around to the crowd. It's funny cause you still be kissing that mouth. Hit you with the stick, yeah, you a little bitch, poppin' pills my shit, yeah, down to hit a lick, I ain't capping, I ain't lacking, you'll never catch me, it ain't never gonna happen.
I be posted, I be coolin'. Come through, bitches join. But they ain't getting none. I be focused on the guap. I'm just trying to stack them huns. I'm just trying to get some huns. I'm just trying to stack them huns. I'm just trying to get some huns. I'm just trying to stack them huns.
Fuck them niggas talking about me. I always stay with my OG. What them niggas say about me? They say I'm killing for that money. Fuck them niggas talking about me. I always stay with my OG. What them niggas say about me? They saying I'ma kill for that money.
Chillin' with the gang, why the fuck you talking about me? We just ain't the same.
Everything matches except this one.
I be sipping drink, I got purple in my cup. I got bitches in LA and they always down to fuck. I be on first and I drink, fucking on my bitch and that was lame. Shoot you in the face, but I got perfect aim. Better not test me cause I don't play games. I be on my shit, don't try and act hard. I will beat your ass, no cap, you know I'm talking that part. Yeah.
Fuck them niggas talking about me. I always stay with my OG. What them niggas say about me? They say I'm killing for that money. Fuck them niggas talking about me. I always stay with my OG. What them niggas say about me? They saying I'ma kill for that money.
Creeping through the night, my emotions up and down. I ain't really trying to wait, got no time to sit around. Before I wore my cap and gown, they been fucking with the sound. Now I'm shooting for the crown. I'ma put on for my town. Soaking game up from the OGs, chiefing with the homies. Motherfuck the police, that's why I stay.
John Gotti, CTO.
CTM Music Group, baby. Woo! Pow! Yeah, I'm trying to get the paper, I'm trying to get rich. We do it for the big face, dead presidents. I got Lamborghini dreams, still got Mercedes Benz. And yes, I'm a boss, but I'm looking for a lick. You gotta get it how you live life like this. And yes, I need 36, a whole fucking brick. Rolling through the city, got a Louis Loafs on. And I told these motherfuckers, yeah, I get my smoke on. Cheech, Sean, bust out the bomb. Smoking all day, flipping bricks by the yard. And you can try it too, but don't quit your day job. We'll fix each up and make the times real hard. That's why I got all these tattoo scars. Chilling in the kitty bar, rolling in the fancy cars, swearing out the superstar. Yeah, I look like a model. B-I-O-R. Money in the rubber band, stack it till you cap hearts. Yeah, I got the trade powers, got a real loud box. I do my dirt in the dirt, fucking do it podcast. I got some million toys, AKs, SKs, long range, short range, red stain, no brain. Who am I kidding, motherfucker? Crime pays. Yeah, I'm trying to get the paper, I'm just trying to get rich. We do it for the big face, dead presidents. I got a Lamborghini dream, still got Mercedes Benz. And yes, I'm a boss, but I'm looking for a lick. You gotta get it how you live when life is like this. And yes, I need 36, a whole fucking brick.
What audio source do I connect to? Damn it.
John Gotti, CTM Music Group, baby. Woo! Ah!
The Muskoka real estate market is hot and sizzling this summer. Connect with Muskoka Realtor Bob Clark to list or to buy luxury living on the big
Is he still trying to sell those townhouses?
MuskokaCottages.com.
So
60 News time, 10 o'clock.
22 seconds. Oh, these are almost exactly on point, right?
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Enough. We'll stay watered with more. How high? Well, how about doubling the amount of bookings on the provincial site in just one day and over 2,000 more first doses given out? While the numbers are low, just over 12,000 doses were delivered today compared to more than 10 times that earlier in the pandemic. It is a rise when we haven't seen movement in quite some time.
You're trying to keep something going up forever.
Like
It doesn't work that way.
well over 85% of the eligible population vaccinated to avoid lockdowns in the fourth wave. As of today, 83% of Ontarians
It was 75,
one
then
shot,
80, then 70, then 65 is what started. After it was 95 or 90.
Global News.
What's the herd immunity prevailing theory now?
Table says the province's newly announced vaccine certificate program will be an important weapon to fight the pandemic. Dr. Peter Uni says the program is based on Ontario-specific data about what causes COVID-19 cases to rise.
When you think about where we were, always
Directement, il s'est contenté de dire qu'il allait se coordonner avec le gouvernement québécois.
D'autres termes aussi sur l'environnement en retenant
Hourly
l'attention.
news.
Oui, échange de coups entre Justin Trudeau et Yves-François Blanchet du Bloc sur leurs bilans respectifs en matière de climat, l'achat de pipeline par le chef libéral, l'appui au forage sur l'île d'Anticosti quand Yves-François Blanchet était ministre péquiste, discussion animée entre les chefs bloquistes et néo-démocrates sur les enjeux de la laïcité, du racisme, le chef du NPD qui était contre le Québec bashing, c'est le terme qu'il a utilisé. Dans l'ensemble, jeu oratoire parfois décousu, Justin Trudeau était en mode attaque énergique et Renaud Toul sur la défensive, offrant des réponses plutôt vagues. Yves-François Blanchet, le chef du Bloc, a pris beaucoup de place, concentré ses attaques contre Justin Trudeau et Renaud Toul. Et John Meeting, lui, chef du NPD, était plus effacé que les autres.
Oui, Benoît, merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie.
Maintenant, Élections Canada dément une rumeur qui circule depuis quelques jours sur Facebook. Des internautes affirment qu'il faudrait être vacciné contre la COVID-19 pour pouvoir voter, mais c'est faux. Il est impossible de savoir combien de fois ce mensonge a été partagé sur les réseaux sociaux, puisqu'il est privé. Par contre, nos collègues de l'émission Les Décrypteurs ont constaté que de nombreuses personnes disent l'avoir reçu.
Doesn't make it true, though.
La boxeuse mexicaine Jeanette Zacarias Zapata est décédée. De son combat contre Marie-Pierre Houle à Montréal. Elle avait été transportée en ambulance vers l'hôpital du Sacré-Cœur, puis plongée dans un coma artificiel. Nouvelle information dans le dossier de l'alerte Amber pour retrouver.
What the fuck is going on here? Why is this not just simply not working?
Mutually respectful manner. China's vice premier says China-U.S. cooperation on climate issues must be based on the foundations of the Paris Agreement. Han Zheng was speaking with visiting U.S. climate envoy John Kerry via video link. He reiterated China's goal of achieving carbon neutrality by 2060 and says it demonstrates China's commitment to the Paris Agreement. Kerry says that the United States and China should maintain constructive engagement and jointly address global challenges. The U.S. envoy says his country is willing to strengthen communication with China and jointly address the threat of global climate change. At least 22 people have been killed in the United States after the remnants of Hurricane Ida dropped record rainfall across parts of Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. Ida was the 5th largest hurricane in history. It triggered a first-ever flood emergency for New York City and parts of Long Island. U.S. President Joe Biden says the reoccurring natural disasters show that the climate crisis is real.
Past few days of Hurricane Ida and the wildfires in the West and the unprecedented flash floods.
How come it's not doing what you said it would do last time?
Obviously,
there's something wrong with
these
the prediction.
extreme storms and the climate crisis are here. We need
Climate
to be
crisis.
better prepared.
Crimea
We need to
Peninsula.
act.
What?
Hurricane Ida had wreaked havoc along the Gulf Coast over the weekend before causing deadly flooding and tornadoes in the Northeast. It destroyed buildings and left more than 1 million homes without power in Louisiana. Finland's health authority has proposed a third COVID-19 vaccine dose for at-risk groups. The jab will be administered primarily to all those over the age of 12 whose immune response is reduced due to disease or treatments. Health experts say the booster vaccine will offer protection by raising antibodies to levels seen in healthy people. The third shot is to be given at least 2 months after the second dose.
That's what
Authorities say the
immunocompromised means.
possibility of a
You
third
guys don't get
vaccine
it.
dose being offered to the rest of the population will be assessed. And that's the news. I'm Shane Begum.
It's the Beijing hour, but it's not.
How can you experience real life in China without making that trip to the fabulous...
Oh dear, oh dear.
In time for the start of the Maple Leafs and
Tolerance that I believe ultimately will prevail. I am a glass half full person. Always have been, always will be. Later, his best man is not vaccinated.
It's disappointing just for the simple fact that you want to have your wedding your way and not have anybody else's input.
As a result, he's out from the wedding.
August is typically a quieter time.
See, they think they're proving a point doing stuff like this.